Hi, my name is Kiara and I run a small business called Who Be New. I've been running my business for 12, nearly 13 years now and started my business at home and grew it to 6 figures. If you've clicked on this video, then you probably want to know how you can start your small business from home as well. So I'm going to talk about the equipment that I have used to start and grow my small business and a new piece of equipment that I have come across that would have helped me to grow that business so much quicker if it had existed when I first started out 12 years ago. Enjoy. And if you've got any questions, please comment with them below. Ooh, fancy. So one of the most cost-effective businesses that you can start from home is a sublimation business with a heat press and a sublimation printer. If you can't afford to invest in a sublimation printer as well as a heat press, you can just start a business with a heat press, because there are products now like DTF, which is direct to film printing. You can have your designs printed by a company onto film. They send them to you, you cut them out. You can then print those designs onto t-shirts, tote bags, other sort of fabric items like pencil cases, wash bags, all that kind of stuff. So even if you can't afford to go down the sublimation route initially, you can just get started with a heat press. So this heat press is the Auto 2 heat press. That's the one I'm going to talk to you about today, and I'm going to compare it to the heat press that we already had, which was the Auto 1. So I loved the idea of an automatic heat press. We've been using a very large, cumbersome clam press for, well, like the 12 years we've been running our business. And one of the issues with that is it's very, very heavy. And you do actually need quite a lot of strength to pull it down and push it into place to really like have the pressure there that you need when you're printing sublimation or DTF. Whereas the auto press, it's automatic. You push a button, it presses it for you, it applies the pressure, and that's it. So it's so much easier. So we purchased the first heat press before Christmas. Because we wanted to be able to put a sheet of pet tags or a sheet of Christmas decorations under there, push a button, walk away, go do something else, come back and they're done. And we were very, very impressed with the machine. So the quality of the sublimated items that came out were very vibrant because the heat is evenly distributed. Some of the issues that you have with the clam presses is that sometimes the heat starts to deteriorate around the edges, whereas this was a nice even pressure all the way across the heat press. I think they are really meant for t-shirts and apparel-based businesses, to be honest. But we obviously were using it for other products such as flat decorations, the flat pet tags, magnets, coasters, mouse mats, that kind of thing. So we loved this heat press and we thought it was brilliant. But one of the issues that we were having, so with the auto press, the first one, it's got 2 different modes of pressure. And you can save them. So if you were printing the same kind of product again and again, you could set it to be like, right, this one's this amount of heat and time and pressure, and then this one is this amount of heat and time. The pressure it auto detects, so it would look at the thickness of an item as it was pushing it and apply the amount of pressure that it thought it should have. That was what was the issue for us. So with our pet tags, there is a slight raising around the edge where it's coated. So what was happening is when the auto press was detecting how much pressure it needed to have, we were getting some fading around the edges. And what we said in the office was it would be amazing if we could manually adjust the pressure to override this, and then we would have perfect pet tags every time with a lot less wastage than we currently get now. So, and also one of the things I love about the auto press is, so say for example with the clam press, if we press a sheet of tags and as I said, like some of the heat is not evenly distributed, the tag might be a little bit faded. If we try to press it again, because we're bringing the clam down, there's ever so slight movement, and that means you get shadowing on the product, so the product's ruined and you can't use it. With the auto press, when I first realised this issue where we were getting a little bit of shadowing around the edges because there just wasn't enough pressure, I put them in again, pressed them again, and because it just comes straight down, there was no shadowing. And after a couple of presses, the tags were still fine. So I was like, okay, so it's still good, but it would be great if we could manually override the pressure. So when I saw they had brought out the Auto 2, which allows you to manually override the pressure, I was like, this is the machine that we need. So I reached out to the company and inquired about it, and they offered to gift us one so that we could compare the two and we could share it with you guys. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to show you the pluses and the minuses, and I'm going to make some products so that you can see the difference in the quality. But so far I have to say I'm really, really impressed. As you can see, they are quite similar in colour, but this one is a little bit different because it has this panel on top. Now, I have the two of them side by side so that you can have a look. This is a lovely kind of like a baby blue colour. This one is a sort of aqua colour, and you can see this has got this panel on top, and that one has the panel on the front there. So this one comes to here. Let's just get that out of the way for now. So that one comes to there, and then this one pulls under here, comes out quite a little bit further actually, which to be honest gives you more of a clearance area to be able to move stuff you're further away from the heat source, which I think is pretty good. Oh, okay, impressive. So when we turn it on, we've got some warnings. Oh, it's touchscreen. Do not move or stop the touchscreen manually, otherwise the screen may malfunction. Okay. Oh wow, okay. So it's got a material library. Select your material. Okay. Heat transfer vinyl, sublimation paper, heat transfer paper, DTF transfer film. So I would normally be using sublimation paper. Oh. And then now it's asked me to select what it is that I'm actually applying the sublimation paper onto. So we've got 100% cotton. What else have we got? Model or canvas. Oh, it's heating up. It's already telling me 38 degrees. So that's interesting. So it's geared very much towards fabric. Now, I've also got system here. So I've got language, screen angle, ironing mode, screen sound, and units. So, okay, so this I can determine whether or not I want it to be in centigrade or Fahrenheit, and the pressure, whether I want it to be in kilograms or pounds. Okay. And then we've also got customize. So this must be where you can do custom settings for particular temperature, how long, and the pressure that you want. So this is fantastic. Now on this one, you've got different temperature settings and different time settings as well. It will start to heat up to the temperature that you set. If you want to change the temperature, you press the heat button and you press the plus and minus to increase the heat. And obviously you can increase the time. You press the time button to increase the amount of seconds that you want the heat press to press for. With a lot of our stuff, it's about, I don't know, 160, something like that. And then when you're ready to go, you press this button. You can also, as I said, set 2 different automatic presses. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to press one of our little treat bags. But before I do that, because I want to make sure I'm going to get a good press, I'm going to put it in so that the material is as flat as it can possibly be. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to overhang this so that this part shouldn't get pressed. And I'm going to use, this is the heat protective sheet that they've given us. I'm going to push that in. Now I had set it for, so I'm going to change the substrate. I'm going to say the substrate is now, I think it's polyester actually. Sublimation paper, polyester, confirm. The temperature is 100 degrees. It's showing me the material I've selected, the sublimation paper, and it's saying what the temperature should be, 200, and the time and the amount of kilograms of pressure. Now there's an auto iron button there, so I'm going to press that and see what happens. Under the auto iron, the heat plate will press down automatically once it do not touch the heat plate. Ooh. It's actually counting down, and there is also a stop button if you wanted to stop it. So it's telling me that we've auto ironed it. Now obviously this will be hot. It's nice and flat now. So now I can put my paper on. Well, this is a bit big for this particular bag. And this is the paper as well that was supplied with the machine, so they do their own sublimation paper too. Okay, let's pop this back under here. We might not get a perfect print because we've got that nozzle, but let's see what happens. It says the heat now. Ooh. Okay, look at that print quality. That is really, really good. Obviously it was a little bit too big for this bag, but that is amazing. I'm super impressed. So now I'm going to turn the machine off. I'm now going to print the same on this one and see how it comes out. Now, I think it was 40 seconds and it was 200 degrees that it set it to. So let's get that up. This one did heat up very quickly as well. And bearing in mind, I've got it out of the box and I haven't really read the manual properly. So I've just sort of had a quick glance and then I've just switched it on and it's pretty much told me what I need to do. So you can just get it out of the box and you're kind of good to go, which is amazing. I'm just going to print on the other side so that we can see. So I'm pushing this in. I've got this bobble out here. Push that in. It's kind of in the middle. And then I'm just going to push the button. And we're done. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so that's the original side. Let's have a look at this side. Okay, right, so this one, it's because probably this part of the fabric I hadn't pushed it in enough perhaps. It could be to do with the pressure, I don't know. I mean, the print is still very vibrant, but we've also got some little spots here. I mean, it's a very, very vibrant print still. So with the Auto 2, I could select what the fabric was and it gave me the predetermined settings. Whereas with this one, all I'm really doing is putting in the temperature and the amount of time, and then the machine is detecting the how thick it is. Now, and then which has led to this side having a bit of an oopsie. But this is absolutely perfect. So I think they've taken, I mean, this is still a really, really good machine, but I think they've taken any potential issues or any like feedback from customers, and then they've created this, which is just perfect, so much better. So I'm going to also try printing other things on it as well. So I do think it is designed for t-shirts, t-shirt companies, fabric, things like that, DTF prints, that kind of thing. But to be honest, I'm going to try it with some of our other metal products and see how it comes out and do like a bit of a comparison between the two. Right, and just to show you, just as a contrast, this is the clam press that we have. You can see it's taking up a lot more room than these ones are. And with this one, you have to manually pull this down and really push it. And it is quite heavy. Whereas this, push a button, done. Okay, so the main differences between the Auto 1 and the Auto 2, it's the fact that you can flexibly adjust the pressure anywhere between 20 and 80 kilograms. This one supports thicker projects, so you can now press up to a maximum of 4.5 centimeters. The screen, it has a touch screen, which the other one does not have, and it heats 10% faster. Okay. So the other day we practiced printing onto one of these bags and tested between the two heat presses. Now, what I want to do now is to print one of our pet tankers and one of our Christmas decorations, which are these sort of metal items. And we've got these two Christmas decorations here. So I want to see how they work in the two different heat presses. I'm going to test the decorations first because they're quite flat. So this could all go horribly wrong because I have not tested the settings and it's a bit of guesswork. Oh, okay. There we go. 185. 50 seconds. Now pressure. This is the part I'm really not sure about. This is very much going to be trial and error. So I'm going to try and go 70 kilograms of pressure. I can do a similar kind of thing. So I can set the temperature to 185. I can set the time for 50 seconds. Okay. Okay, so it has beeped to tell me that it is ready. I'm going to pull this out. Now, I'm going to put them in the middle. Put the protective sheet over. Slide it back in. So, let's have a look and see how they have worked. Let's have a look at this one first. And that's printed really well. So I can't see any issues with that at all. I can't see any like fading. To be honest, I think that's pretty perfect. I'm going to mark this one with a little dot so we know that this was the heat press one. So we can compare the two. Let's have a look and see how the stars come out. I mean, this also looks pretty perfect. You know, as I said, it is a good machine. Perhaps there's like a little bit of patchiness on the red, but again, you know, I mean, I purposely chose a dark colour because dark colours and reds are the hardest to print. But I would say that was pretty good. So that's the one. Again, this is quite a flat product, so I think what would have been a nice additional feature is if you could have named your custom settings. So it says like custom 1, and it would be great if we could call that, you know, name it ourselves. So I could be like pet tag decorations. So the pressure on this one is 70 kilograms and 50 seconds and 185 degrees. Now I know the time and the temperature is correct, but what I don't know is whether or not the pressure will be correct. Right, moment of truth. Okay, so as expected, it has come out pretty well. Again, with the blacks, there's like a tiny little bit of patchiness. That's me being really fussy. If we were to compare the two, so like the 1 and the 2, I think obviously I can play with the settings and add more pressure. So I think I would probably want to increase the pressure actually. So that's what I'm going to do now. Before I press the other decoration, I'm going to increase the pressure. So the maximum amount of pressure that it allows is 80 kilograms. So that's what I've increased it to. I'm going to pop this one in now. I mean, you can see on this sheet, like it's left the indentation of the star. So there is quite a lot of pressure there. So maybe less pressure is the key. I'm not sure. This is why we have to experiment and play around with things. Let's have a look. So again, we've got quite a fair amount of pressure has been applied. You can kind of see the indentations on the paper. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I mean, that looks pretty good to me. I'd like to play around with different levels of pressure and see. As I said, it is all about trial and error. So now let's try a pet tag, because that's where we were having the problem and where we wanted to have that control. Let's see how a pet tag comes out. So we have two different types of pet tag. This is our standard pet tag, this is our premium pet tag. The premium pet tag, I'm not sure if you can see kind of a lip to it just around here. So that can sometimes make it hard for the machine to determine the pressure. Can you see this sort of little line around here? Okay, let's see how that works. I mean, they are both great heat presses. It's just obviously that with this one, the ability to control the pressure. Right, this is the issue that I was talking about. So as you can see around the edges here, we've got this like shadowing where there hasn't quite been enough pressure, and you can see on the main image of the pet tag as well, it's quite patchy with the colour, so there's just not quite enough pressure. Let's try one of our standard pet tags. These ones are a bit flatter, so it may work better in the older press. Let's see how the standard pet tag came out, which is a little bit flatter on the Auto one. Okay, I mean, that is much better. There's not as much patchiness. as there is with the other one, because obviously the surface is flatter. That does make a difference. Right, now let's try the same products in the newer heat press where I can control the pressure. Standard tag is going in. Okay, so this was only 40 grams of pressure. And let's see how this one's come out. Okay. I mean, looks really good. So this one was the Auto Press 1 and this one was the Auto Press 2. Exactly the same print settings. If you can see the one on the left, the text is just a little bit fuzzier, whereas on the one on the right, the text is perfect. So I would say, I mean, they're both really good, but the Auto 2 is just that tiny bit superior. So let's try a premium tag now. I'm going to pop it in now and press start. Oh, it's adjusting the temperature. It basically gave me a warning to say the heat press is not at the temperature that you have said that you wanted it to be. Do you want to wait? So now I'm just waiting. Now it's ready to work, and this is all lit green. Right, premium pet tag at 40 kilograms of pressure. Let's see. It's left quite an impression. This is the one we obviously had the trouble with, so I'm interested to see these results. This may need a little bit more trial and error. Okay, well, it's better. It's a lot better than the Auto 1 was. Let me show you the two. This was the press with the Auto 1 where it determined the amount of pressure itself. This is the one that I've just done, and I've selected 40 grams of pressure. Now, I am very fussy, but I would say that that is almost near perfect. I'm going to do another test with a different amount of pressure to see the difference using just the Auto 2 now. It's also worth noting that because I hadn't used this one for a while, it shut itself down automatically. So there's no chance of you leaving, forgetting that you've got the heat press on and it sort of being left on and being any kind of a hazard. It turns itself off. You should never leave them unattended anyway. When you're pressing, you should always be there with the heat presses just in case. Right, so this is one of our most difficult colours to press. This is the one where we usually get this kind of fading like you've seen with the green. Okay, that's not bad actually, not bad at all. So we have got a little bit of speckling, not so much of an issue with around the edges. So what I would do now, to be honest, is I'm probably going to print one for all of the different pressures to see which one is the best. You can definitely see the issue I'm talking about here. This is at 40 kilograms of pressure with this sort of fading around here. It's much more obvious on the deeper colours. This was the 61, so you can see the difference. Okay, for this one I decided to go in the middle and I went for 50 kilograms of pressure. Okay, right, ignore this black mark here, that was on the paper anyway. Okay, that might actually be perfection, I think. I personally think that the decorations perfectly fine, and these flat pet tags perfectly fine. The only thing that we've had the real issue with are these pet tags. So if you were doing anything flat, I think the Auto Heat Press 1 would be absolutely perfect. If, like us, you want to be able to manually adjust the pressure, then the Auto 2 is probably going to be able to give you that scope to be able to play around with the settings until you get it perfect. Again, the decorations look great. These probably I could have changed the pressure and used a little bit more. And what's really interesting, I think, is the pet tags and the difference. So this one was at 40 with not enough pressure, and we can see this fading around here. This one is at 50, which I actually think is pretty perfect. This one was 60, and then this one is 70. I'm not entirely sure why this has happened. Perhaps it's too much pressure, and this is not enough pressure. And the reason why I went for 50 is to try between the two. And this just looks that little bit more vibrant and red than this one does. So I feel like 50 is the perfect amount of pressure, and I'm confident that we are now going to be able to print our pet tags using the Auto 2. So whichever machine is right for you is going to depend on the type of items that you want to press. Either machine is going to be a really good, solid investment for your business. Now, this video has been sponsored. I was gifted this machine. This one we did pay for ourselves. and this one was gifted to us so that we could compare the two. So I am going to put a link in the description below. It is an affiliate link. It's an affiliate link for any item in the shop, and there's also a discount code as well. If you use my name, Kiara Stone, that will give you 10% off. If you've got any questions or any other things you'd like to know that I haven't covered, then please do put a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks so much for watching, and please do like and subscribe if you like this content. Thanks very much.